and nuclear radiation disasters, Shri Mr. T.S. Aswal Saab, who is joining online. Today is the focus on industry and safety. This Resilience and Sustainability Summit 2026 is an evolution over the previous summit that took place in 2023 in Vigyan Bhavan. The idea of Resilience and Sustainability Summit, RESSummit in the short, has emerged from the wide-ranging recommendations from various corners in the meetings, in the government, and more particularly to quote the third session of National Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction, chaired by Honorable Home Minister and inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. It was a recommendation to the Ministry of Science and Technology to take up an initiative to establish the integration among various disciplines, more particularly climate change related resilience, the integrated disaster resilience including the industries, and sustainability. Because there are institutions which are working very nicely but in isolation. Besides this, the second recommendation was also there, that to enable science policy practice interface. Because there are very good researches being undertaken in our research centers across the country. Very good policy initiatives are there within the governance, and there are very good practices in the field. But there is very poor linkage between the three, and we need to strengthen those linkages so that the benefits of research reaches to policy, the correct directives and guidance from policy reaches to practice, and there is a complete cycle. Looking to this, the RESSummit 2023 has been organized, and then it was a recommendation that it should be organized on regular basis to also make an audit that how far we have moved. The Resilience and Sustainability Summit, RESSummit 2026, which is organized here in the IIT Roorkee Greater Noida campus through ICARS, which is Integrated Center for Adaptation, Disaster Risk Resilience and Sustainability, is the youngest center established by Ministry of Science and Technology, is mandated to work closely with 12 central ministries, National Disaster Management Authority, Niti Aayog, and other institutions. And this particular summit is organized jointly with them, Niti Aayog, NDMA, Director General Factory Advice Service and Labor Institute. We are so thankful for this wonderful partnership. We are also supported by the partners across the country, the Government of UK, the Australian High Commission, UNDP, GIZ, and a wide range of partners including industry also. For example, HCL Tech and others have also supported our initiatives. In total, we have around 45 partners. Over 3 days time, 16 to 18 March, this summit is taking, and today is the third day. And it has been designed in an innovative way that we had 4 independent events under the summit. The first day was focused on Climate Knowledge Forum on 16th, where we also launched India's Climate Knowledge Network under National Mission for Strategic Knowledge on Climate Change, which is going to integrate all the COEs in the country, their research knowledge, integrated in one place and translated into strategic knowledge so that the policymakers can directly use it and take the benefits and also give the feedback that what kind of research is needed. Yesterday, there were 2 events and a joint inaugural session. Yesterday, the first event was on regional and specific vulnerabilities. Those were covering mountains, coastal, the dry land areas, and other specific vulnerabilities which are social, economic, financial, and other dimensions, including the AI-enabled approaches which can really enrich the efforts and make better precision. The another event, a full day event yesterday, was focused on health and well-being. Looking at health, including the lessons from the COVID-19 and also looking various other kind of medical emergencies and preparedness of the health systems to meet the disasters, including hospital preparedness, health emergencies, epidemics, pandemics, all these things were discussed at large, and many medical institutions were present yesterday. A large number of medical professionals, researchers, they participated. Today's focus on industry and safety, which is also including the talking about innovations. Innovations where industry are playing great role, and also industries are looking at the business opportunities as well. So it is a two-way thing. Whereas they are a contributor and they are profit maker also, because this kind of services are very much required. The good lessons coming from the industries and their challenges also, so that the research community can look at their challenges and provide the solutions. So this is, and the sessions are taking place at 6 different locations. This is the plenary hall. Then there are 4 other halls: Sanskar, Sankalp, Srijan, and one more, I think, Sanrakshan. And we also had a very innovative idea that emerged during the previous RESSummit 2023 is the Parisamvad. Parisamvad is a, like, we can call in common language like Nukkad Pe Charcha, but it goes live globally. There are experts discussing on a very specific theme, very specific theme, very intense discussion, and that is going live globally, and the people around the world are watching and witnessing it. In total, around 450 participants joining, 450 delegates joining over 3 days, and 46 sessions are organized under this. 250 speakers are presenting their views in different sessions. So in this way, we are happy and feel honored to have this August inaugural session of the day 3, that is on industry and symposium. And I don't think any better expert can be there to grace this occasion than the member NDMA, Shri T.K. Aswal Sahab, who is looking after this subject, Madam Roli Singh, chairperson of the National Authority for Weapon Convention and National Chemical Weapons Convention, and Director General Factory Advice Service, Shri Chaturvedi ji. Any time when we talk about chemical accidents, chemical safety, it is the first word that will come is the DG Fastly. Now, people do not even know the full form of DG Fastly, but everyone knows DG Fastly. Many times people get confused what is full form, but short form, everyone said DG Fastly. This is the first thing. Any industry person, I don't think that anybody would be there who would not know DG Fastly. And sir, my interest and journey in disaster management started way back in 1994. I joined the India's first Institute of Disaster Management, that was Disaster Management Institute Bhopal, which was established after Bhopal tragedy, and I worked there under the initiative supported by government of Norway. Then the support was taken back because we had Pokhran and all the foreign funding had stopped. But anyway, then the government started its own initiatives, and then the Disaster Management Act came and I joined NIDM. And now this is an initiative which is very unique because this is located under an IIT campus, but established by government. So it is a very good example of the government academia partnership that has been focused by even the international leadership in disaster management. I recall Shri Kamal Kishorji, who is from the soil and now heading the world's disaster management program of UN. He is the UN Assistant Secretary General for and head of disaster management. He was always saying, and he is our alumni, IIT Roorkee alumni. And very interestingly, Chaturvedi sir and madam, the current secretary of NDMA, Shri Bhardwaj ji, is also IIT Roorkee alumni, and he was there on the first day, and the HOD of member NDMA was also addressing us on the day 1 under the climate summit. So thank you very much for gracing this occasion. We also had the Uttarakhand hosted the World Summit on Disaster Management the previous year, which was a great success. So we are also going to release a report based on that in this session by your gracious hands. And we also welcome our all industry partners, and many other people are joining shortly. They are on the way. We are curating many sessions. So all sessions are curated sessions. Like organizations are presenting their outcome of their projects, their research in curated sessions. So they have brought a wide range of experts. So diverse viewpoints are coming, and that would really help to enrich, to identify that what kind of follow-up actions are really required. And we have got the instruction from Niti Aayog and NDMA that maybe within 1 or 2 months we will finalize the key recommendations from this, and there in fact we would seek your guidance in finalizing the recommendations, particularly with relation with chemical and industrial safety and accident management. That will be really a great guidance and blessings from your side. And this campus would always be ready to collaborate with you, support with you, work under your guidance towards strengthening capacities and research in these areas. Thank you very much, and looking forward to your further guidance.
Thank you so much, sir, for the kind words and welcoming all our dignitaries online, offline. And we'll start the session. Our first distinguished speaker is Professor P.K. Joshi, Professor with School of Environmental Sciences, Jawaharlal Nehru University, working on environmental conservation and management, disaster risk resilience and climate change with emphasis on ecosystems. Please welcome Professor P.K. Joshi. Everybody.
Thank you, madam. Namaskar and a very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to compliment, Professor Anil Gupta and his entire team for organizing such a wonderful and valuable event. Today, when we interact about, disaster risk resilience and all, so industries, our factories, they are something very important, just not in the national context, but as well as internationally. Since the independence, whensoever we had looked for the engines of progress, so industries, they have played a very crucial role. And the kind of contribution which is over there, till, the service sector came into existence, probably it was the one which was contributing maximum to the GDP. And today it stands the second. When you look from the, labor force, from that perspective also, if you keep agriculture, which is one of the primary sectors aside, so you get to understand, industries are playing a very crucial role. But the juncture where we are standing, the global environmental challenges when we talk about, so industries again become somewhat very important, right from the occupational safety or occupational health perspective, but also from the disaster risk resilience perspective. So, in the world of climate change, when transitions are being talked about as one of the important pathways of climate change mitigation, so industries have to play a most crucial role to make our infrastructure, to make our setup resilient. From the safety perspective, but also from the perspective of sustainability. So this is probably one of the major challenges which is in front of entire spectra of industries which need to be taken note of. But as Professor Gupta was mentioning about, when you look at policies, practices, so ground evidences are somewhat very, very important. And any policy, any practice which is generated from ground evidences, they are, they have their own pathways of success stories or bringing something very practicum onto the ground. So here in, research institutions, academic institutions, they have a very crucial role to play. And I would urge, when you are looking at a resilient world, when you are looking at a risk-resilient environment, you will have to take account of the knowledge which is being generated in classrooms, the research perspectives which are generally bought by the institutions of higher learning, looking at an environment wherein this connect could be established. And if you actually wish to bring something onto the ground which can sustain for longer period and taking the envelopes of resilience. So this will be one of the challenges, and somewhere, I'm sorry to say that, being from academic, I also take a bit of responsibility onto that, but this connect is slightly loose, slightly weak, and this is probably when we are trying to rewrite a chapter, so we should look into this very seriously. Second thing, when people are talking about all type of intelligence, entire, set of data science and all. So that is another very important thing. And at times when you conceptualize the conventional industries, so you get to see a lack of adaptation of newer technologies over there. So I would again urge the House that we need to look in that perspective as well. How to envelop such kind of tools and techniques so that better decision making could be made. And I very strongly feel if these two verticals could be taken care of, then probably the success story which industries, factories has written over the period, those will be much more colorful, those will be much more acceptable, and those will be much more sustainable as we all are looking forward to. So I stop over here. I wish to listen to our, main guest on today, and then let us see how we can churn out something better, which can be an outcome from our RESSummit 2026, which basically focuses on 2047 as the entire country is focusing on to that, and rest of the world is looking at us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Joshi, for those valuable inputs. We'll move ahead with the session, and I would like to invite Professor Vimal Chandra Srivastava from IIT Roorkee to please provide his remarks. Everybody please welcome Professor Srivastava.
Good morning all, and first of all, congratulations, heartiest congratulations to my colleague Professor Gupta for organizing such a beautiful event where people from industry, from government, from NGOs and from academia are also here. So we have people who can have a very good dialogue for understanding the challenges and also trying to mitigate the issues and other things. Regarding IIT Roorkee, I like to mention is that IIT Roorkee is doing a lot of work related to disaster risk. Roorkee has roughly 24 centers and many like 24 departments and 10 academic centers and 10 plus research centers. So like ICARS is one of the research centers, and we have like Department of Earthquake Engineering, where there is no other department, such department exists in the country. Globally only 5-7 such department exists. Okay, so a lot of work is being done. In fact, madam, long back, the nuclear power plant were also tested in our Department of Earthquake Engineering before installation. Okay, for checking the seismology aspects of this. And then we have a Center for Disaster Risk, and they also have a master's program. I am myself a professor of chemical engineering. So we teach a lot of process safety and incorporate that into the design. And we used to run a master's program on hazardous risk management. Okay, somehow it was dissolved and all the master's program were there. They were merged, but we are still teaching 3-4 subjects regarding these. So risk assessment and then all the protocols, one of the subjects, and then Roorkee is doing a lot of work related to that. Now, personally, I feel that any disaster has 3 aspects. So one is that how we prepare for the disaster. That means that how we incorporate the safety into the design so that the disaster doesn't happen. And for that, we need to have a lot of knowledge, and these aspects do work very well for the industries, but not for natural calamities. For natural calamities, we need to have the vulnerability studies, other type of such studies which can actually frame the policies and help our government to avoid such disasters later on. Then the second aspect is, if any disaster happens, how well we are prepared during the disaster to save the life. So that becomes very important. And so during the disaster, how well the NDMA is well prepared, how our logistics are there, can we manage the disaster very well. And then certainly after the disaster, how we incorporate the studies, how we can take care of the people, so there are three aspects. And then further we can divide these three aspects into whether we want to apply in a chemical industry, where we want to apply in other sectors. So such studies are required. Now there are many things which are coming up like AI, ML, which can actually help a lot in these aspects, where there is no clear-cut science established. So if we don't have a science well established, from the data we can actually predict many of the things. And the AI and ML can give the science in a back propagation. So these are the things which are possible. And then there are other aspects also we should incorporate with respect to, in particular for sustainability, like life cycle assessment, social impact assessment of any of the projects and others. So these are some of the things I wish that they should be studied. The training aspect of the people are very important. Roorkee has a Center for Continuing Education. This particular Noida campus is very well known, so we use it for training for industrial person, for government officials, etc. We have a guest house. So if any such programs are there, I am sure Professor Gupta will be happy to lead such activities, and at Roorkee also will be happy to have such programs. So with this I will end for this and then discuss further. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening message. We'll proceed with the program with another guest, Shri Prahlad Adhikari ji, a founding secretary of Himalayan Academy of Science and Technology, a platform for people from diversified background passionately working for Himalayan ecosystem. And he's also the organizing secretary for World Summit on Disaster Management. So I would like to request Prahlad sir to please come up over here. And I also invite and welcome Dr. Durgesh Pant, who has joined us online for this. Welcome, welcome sir, everybody.
Thank you, Samya. Respected chief guest of today's this inaugural session, Roli ma'am, honorable member NDMA, Dr. D.K. Aswalji, who has joined online, Professor Durgesh Panji, Director General, Uttarakhand Council for Science and Technology, and convener of the World Summit on Disaster Management 2025, which we organized from 28th to 30th November at Dehradun. He has also joined online. Esteemed dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar. It's a pleasure to be part of this 3-day event. Actually, summits are not just events, they are actually journeys, and therefore it makes us happy to be part of this journey. We organized World Summit on Disaster Management 2025 at Dehradun with an objective to bring in Himalayas at the center stage of global discourse on climate, sustainability and disaster management. Many organizations, institutions, individuals collaborated on that. We had also organized before the main event 3 pre-summits in Delhi, Mumbai and Bengaluru, followed by a high-level policy dialogue in collaboration with ICARS itself at INSA, Delhi. I take this opportunity because we are releasing the proceedings of this summit, the main event, from this platform. So therefore, I take this opportunity to thank many organizations who collaborated, including Government of Uttarakhand, NDMA, NIDM, ICAS, IIT Roorkee itself, CDRI, GUNJ, SEETS, ISRO, IIRS, Sikkim SDMA, DRDO, AON, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, and many others. And we earnestly thank them for their incredible support, because these kind of events need lot of support. Professor Anil Gupta ji would know. Grant Thornton Bharat LLP, so they supported us in compiling all those disbursed pieces together and put that into the form of the publication which we are going to release today. Himani is there from Grant Thornton. She led those efforts, and I, with deepest of the gratitudes, thank the team that is there. Himani, thank you so much. As I said, it's a journey with a broad objective of positioning Himalayas at the center stage, and that has just begun. And we welcome everybody who is passionate about Himalayas, who is passionate about this global cause, to be part of that journey going forward. And before I request Professor Durgesh Pant ji to enlighten us on what this summit was all about and where we want to go from here, I will request the tech team to play a video which captures few moments from the main event which was organized at Dehradun. Please. Thank you. So, as I said, this is not just the end, this just is the beginning, and this journey continues. I now request Professor Durgesh Panji, who has joined us online. Can you please take him on the screen, tech team? Professor Durgesh Panji is the Director General of Uttarakhand Council for Science and Technology. It's my good fortune that I have got an opportunity to associate with his vision since last 3-4 years, and this World Summit was one of that. This summit he only conceptualized. We need scientists, we need researchers, but more importantly, if we have to become Viksit Bharat, we need science technology leadership. And Professor Durgesh Pant is embodiment of science and technology leadership. If you want to see that, you are most welcome to Uttarakhand. The kind of science, technology, innovation, infrastructure he is building in remote areas, in border districts, is beyond the words or beyond any description. So you will have to come there. So therefore, I welcome all of you, and I request Professor Durgesh Panji to enlighten us on his vision about World Summit on Disaster Management and what is that he is doing through science, technology, and innovation in Uttarakhand, a small state though, but very critical for India. Sir, you are mute, I think. Yes. Yes, sir.
So for that we are working constantly, continuously, rigorously from our side. And from my side we ask that we can all come together and from whatever sharing we have, knowledge we have, we can from our side we can start developing newer models. We can start using technology, which is so very important and central to the whole idea. And this entire summit that we did, it was on the premise of 5 E's. Those 5 E's are very important. So the first one, it talks about engaging people. Once they are there, once they know, yes, the kind of, the intervention is there. So they start, they also believe in those kind of technologies, those kind of interventions. Engaging is important. How we engage communities, how we engage our border areas, how we engage villages. So that is first one. The second one is educating them in terms of the kind of, this, in whichever domain we want to, we just want to educate them. So that becomes second one. Institutions like this IIT, institutions like all those NDA, MA, NIT, those are important because again educating people and then framing policies so that at least those policies would educate people, communities, and then further to this, then once they are also educated, they are engaged, then that makes them enabled. So then they are enabled. So this is the third one. I mean, we started working on this one, and this was part of that Siddhyaya experience. You would remember in 2023 when we organized our first scientist disaster world summit. So it was in 2023, and it was along the lines of that Siddhyaya rescue mission in which 41 laborers were stranded in tunnel. They got out unhurt. So it was unheard of that time that 41 laborers who were inside a tunnel for 17 days and they got out of unhurt. So that led us to believe that once they are engaged, they are educated, then they are enabled. So obviously that gives us that framework. So that is an actionable framework. So and the fourth one is once they are enabled, then we empower them with whatever we can, whatever resources we have, whatever technologies we have. So with all of that, we can empower them. We do that, and mostly whatever those doctrines are, those frameworks are, it is along those lines. So it is engaging, educating, enabling, empowering, and that brings in this excellence, that excels, the final. So whether we have it, what Joshi was talking about, it, how we can really go in for those model, that is, I don't know whether that is the excellence in disaster management, how that is achievable and how far can we achieve. But excellence, that part also is again part of the journey. That journey starts engaging communities at ground level. So this entire proceeding from WSDM, this you have got it very kindly done.
Okay, Sati bol.
So thank you
Okay.
very much for giving this opportunity.
एक मिनट हाँ. Thank you, sir. On that note, now I'll request Professor Anil Gupta ji to facilitate the release of the post-summit documentation. Thank you.
Professor Mariana McLaughlin, please come up on the dais. Professor Anamika, we are about to launch the World Summit Disaster Summit report, I believe. Congratulations, everyone. Please give a big round of applause for them. Lovely. Congratulations. I would request my dignitaries to please be here for a few more minutes. We have another report launch upcoming over here, and that too a wonderful one. Professor Namika, Professor Meg Lawson, can I request you to please come again on the stage? And we are going to witness the launch of key report today. That document not only captures knowledge but aims to guide future action and policy direction in resilience and sustainability. The document goes as capacity needs and gap analysis, training needs analysis, and competency framework. I would like to invite all the authors to please be here on the stage, those who have given their contribution for this report. And this report is developed by iCars, a young organization with young authors, I believe, and the wonderful report. Congratulations to the authors. Everyone please motivate them. Big round of applause for them. The capacity needs and gap analysis, training needs analysis, and competency framework. Congratulations to iCars and the authors for the report. We'll proceed. And we have been blessed with the honored presence of our guest of honor, Dr. Dinesh Kumar Aswal, online. He is from NDMA, whose work continues to shape India's and resilience strategies. I would request Dr. Aswal to address us and give his remarks. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Aswal. He has joined us online. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your presence and for the line, development should not be only rapid but also responsible. Wonderful line, sir. Thank you. Moving ahead with the agenda, joining us is Mrs. Roli Singh, IAS, Chairperson, National Authority Chemical Weapons Convention, Cabinet Secretary, Government of India since October 25. Prior to this assignment, she was Additional Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and Director General CGSS. Please welcome Mrs. Singh. Ma'am, please come here.
Morning. Namaskar. My name is Roli Singh. I am currently Chairperson, National Authority Chemical Weapons Convention. It's an international treaty to which India is a signatory. I'm really grateful to the organizers of this conference on resilience and sustainability for inviting me here, especially Dr. Anil Gupta, who has been pursuing with me over the past month to somehow, have me present here. I hope what I say here adds some value. Honorable Member NDMA, Dr. Aswal, who just spoke so brilliantly on this subject. Dr. Anil Gupta, DG Fastly, VC Chaturvedi, Professor Srivastava, Dr. Durgesh Pant, all the distinguished experts who are here, delegates from the industry, academia, and the government. It's my privilege to address this gathering on a subject that is of strategic importance to India's development and global standing. It is the role of the government and the Indian chemical industry in ensuring sustainability and safety while complying with the Chemical Weapons Convention, to which India is a proud signatory, as I just mentioned. We are one of the 6 largest producers of chemicals and pharmaceuticals. We rank 4th in Asia. We account for 3% of the global chemical sales. The chemical sector is a key pillar of our economy, contributing significantly to GDP, employment, exports. It supports agriculture, healthcare, manufacturing, and infrastructure, and plays a central role in national initiatives such as Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Sustainable Development Goals. At the same time, the chemical sector is inherently sensitive, as has been pointed out, because of the dual-use nature of chemicals and technologies. This reality places a special responsibility on India, both as a major chemical producer and as a responsible state party to the Chemical Weapons Convention, to ensure that the chemical activities remain strictly peaceful, safe, and secure. As we heard, the framework is very, very solid, it's very robust, but the implementation is a continuous process. There are a lot of gaps. The convention does not cover all the industries. We have demonstrated this framework through the signing of this convention, and we've enacted various legislations in order to achieve the mandate of the convention. We have the Chemical Weapons Convention Act 2000, which is for accountability of sensitive dual-use chemicals for prevention of re-emergence of chemical weapons. We have the Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992 covering foreign trade, and Weapons of Mass Destruction and their Delivery Systems, Prohibition of Unlawful Activities Act. There is a national control list called the SCOMET, which deals with special chemicals, organisms, materials, equipment, and technology for control of dual-use items, including chemicals. We have the WMD Act 2005 to prohibit unlawful activities related to manufacture, transfer, possession, and transport of biological, chemical, and nuclear weapons and their delivery systems. It basically aims to prevent the non-state actors from accessing WMDs and fulfills India's international obligations under the UN Security Council Resolution 1540. So, as we are all aware, it is clear that safety and sustainability has become a defining principle of industrial policy. However, sustainability has to be understood in a holistic sense, as most of the people before me have mentioned. It is not limited to environmental protection. It also includes worker safety, community protection, and security against misuse of chemicals. A chemical industry that is environmentally efficient but unsafe or insecure cannot be considered sustainable. The principle of safety and security by design is therefore fundamental. In India, this principle should be integrated into plant design, process engineering, and operational management. From the selection of raw materials to waste treatment and disposal, safety and security considerations should be embedded at every stage of chemical life cycle. We have a growing focus on green chemistry, cleaner production technologies, and this directly supports both sustainability goals and Chemical Weapons Convention compliance. Substitution of highly hazardous chemicals, reduction of toxic effluents, and adoption of automation and digital controls are not only reduce environmental impact but also minimize risk of diversion and accidental release. So this compliance with the convention should be viewed by the industry not as a statutory requirement but as a strategic advantage. Accurate declarations, cooperation during inspections, and adherence to export and import controls enhance India's reputation as a reliable and responsible chemical producer. This credibility is essential for maintaining access to international markets and for strengthening India's role in global supply chains. Moreover, as India aspires to become a global manufacturing hub, trust and transparency will be the key determinants of competitiveness. A strong compliance culture assures international partners that Indian chemical products and technologies are safe, lawful, and responsibly managed. The prevention of proliferation and misuse of chemicals is a shared responsibility and between the government and industry, as I mentioned. And in this, I would like to highlight the role of the Indian Chemical Council. It has played a yeoman, it has delivered a yeoman service to this entire ecosystem. And this audience would be happy to note that its critical role in this whole sustainability ecosystem and especially safety and security of chemicals has been acknowledged by the Hague Award in 2024. And it was given jointly with Algeria's National Laboratory for its extensive activities towards awareness generation among the chemical industry fraternity. And it also works through the two main initiatives that have been globally launched. One is called Responsible Care and the other is the Nicer Globe initiative. And this is the first time that the award recognizes the efforts of an Indian chemical industry body. And that is coming from India, which is a matter of pride for us. So ICC is vigorously propagating the principle of responsible care. And this is recognized all over the world by countries like USA, Europe, Japan, and China for protection of environment, safety, health, and security. ICC's initiatives for logistics sector is that Nicer Globe initiative that I talked about, where chemical companies, logistics service providers, disaster management authorities, emergency responders, and industry associations are brought together for ensuring safe transportation of hazardous chemicals and improving capabilities for emergency response. Needless to say, beyond the role of the industry, the government's role in promoting education and awareness is very important. Chemists, engineers, and technicians must be trained not only in technical skills but also in ethical responsibility. Universities and professional institutions have a crucial role in promoting codes of conduct and principles of responsible science. That's where your role comes in, the center of excellence that you have set up in this institute. We have a large and a growing workforce. The Labor Department is also represented here. And this workforce is likely to enter the pharmaceutical and the chemical sector very shortly. So if we catch them young, that is while they're undergoing their education or when they're undergoing their training, that is the time to embed in them this whole idea of what safety, security protocols are in place internationally and nationally and how India adheres to them, so that when they enter the industry, they're already informed of what is expected and they become part of that workforce which helps in maintaining those protocols. They shift from industry to industry, but they should carry with them the institutional knowledge of what needs to be done to, to adhere to this mandate. The other thing is, of course, trainings that we've all spoken about, and Dr. Aswal very clearly pointed out, and I was having this discussion before this meeting started, that until and unless we embed our trainings into the DDMA, the District Disaster Management Plans, DDMPs, the authorities are obviously headed by the collector, but the disaster management plans need to work closely, looking at the local ecosystem where the industries are located. We all know where our industrial hubs are located. And those districts need to have a specialized DDMP which factors in the presence of those industries, the SOPs that need to be in place, and they need to work very closely. And I don't think it's a very difficult task. If we even make a one-year plan of going through all the DDMPs of these districts, we will be having something which is workable and which shows results on the ground. And no training is a one-time affair. It has to be a cascading model. It has to be continuous. It has to be iterative. It has to have a very solid database of people who have been trained, who require refreshers. It requires commitment. And while officers keep changing, if we have an institutionalized framework working with the industry, for ensuring that the DDMPs are robust and topical and they are aware of the ecosystem, then I don't see it as a problem. As regards the mandate of the National Authority Chemical Weapons Convention, under Article 10 of the convention, state parties are encouraged to strengthen assistance and protection mechanisms. In India, this aligns with the objective of National Disaster Management Authority and the National Chemical Emergency Response Framework. Several training programs are held for first responders, medical personnel for toxic industrial chemicals and chemical weapons. And these nominations are typically done through the national authority. And the trainings are organized through the Office of Prevention of Chemical Weapons, which is located in The Hague. In addition, the CBRN trainings are done through DRDO, NDRF to deal with CBRN emergencies. Therefore, regular mock drills, coordination with local authorities and community awareness programs are essential to building resilience. The agencies must not only focus on prevention, but also on response and recovery. A lot of people here have mentioned technology, and I feel that the solutions that adoption of new technologies can provide needs to be embraced wholeheartedly. There's a lot of talk of AI, how to use existing data, and I think we need to build on that. There is a lot of data available, and wherever I think human logic fails or wherever systems are not yet in place, data science can help us in finding solutions. We have a powerful opportunity to strengthen transparency and efficiency in compliance through digitalization. We have adopted the electronic declaration systems in national authority. There is a digital inventory management. There is a secure information exchange platform, which reduces administrative burden while improving accuracy and accountability. And these are routinely applied in the national authority. And this facilitates our cooperation with the Office of Prevention of Chemical Weapons, the international regulatory body for enforcement of this convention. Currently, we are in the process of developing a real-time management system that was spoken about along with Customs Department and DGFT. DGFT is required to authorize the movement of chemicals which are exported outside the country, especially after the authority, national authority gives a no objection certificate. So we want to make it more real time and more transparent. Right now there is a lag. Once we give the NOC, we are not sure when the DGFT is issuing that authorization letter. Many times the industry is also not aware. So we are all in the process to work with the customs and the DGFT to make it more real time so that everybody in the loop is aware of how the movement of chemicals is happening. So like I mentioned, our MOU, the public-private partnership that we have in place right now, which is through this MOU that we have with the ICC and the national authority. This is instrumental in building national capacity. Annual awareness programs are conducted through help desks that have been set up by ICC in all the industry clusters, which are supported by the government. And such partnerships ensure that compliance is not a top-down mandate, it is a shared responsibility, and everybody is working together for a common goal. Looking ahead, India must prepare for emerging challenges. We have to look at advanced materials, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence in chemical design. And this is a great economic opportunity for us, and this is an opportunity for sustainability solutions as well. The dual use risks that are there in every chemical that we see or we consume in our daily lives, these should be managed and anticipated through foresight, regulation and ethical governance. This ammonia nitrate incident that happened in Delhi, had the local authority known that such a bulk procurement is taking place, probably the intelligence agencies, somewhere some red flag should have gone up. And unfortunately, the national authority deals with the macro movement of chemicals. We're not dealing with the local retail and distribution. Some thought needs to be applied to that as well. When you are here at this Center of Excellence, maybe you could apply your mind on how this needs to be also monitored, because this is a potential, I would say, a gray area where misuse has taken place already, and it's likely to take place in the future as well. So ultimately, the responsibility is to create a culture of security and safety, a culture of sustainability, and this has to be embedded in the corporate governance, industrial policy, and in the scientific education as well. So to conclude, while we have a commitment to the Chemical Weapons Conventions and other conventions through our treaty obligations, it's not something new for India. It is a reflection of our civilizational values and our responsibility to the international community on one hand, and to the public at large on the other. A sustainable chemical industry must be safe and secure, and a safe and a secure industry is essential for the development for human good. As India moves forward on the path of industrial growth and global leadership, let us reaffirm our resolve that chemistry will always serve peace, public health and environment protection. Let us work together, the government, the industry and the academia, to ensure that India's chemical sector remains a model of responsible innovation and compliance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us the mantra. Chemistry will serve the peace, the public health and environmental protection. Lovely. Moving ahead with the agenda, we have our distinguished speaker, Shri Vimal Chandra Srivastava, Joint Secretary and Director General DG Fastly, brings with him extensive experience across key ministries including commerce, textiles, law and atomic energy, along with significant contribution in financial systems and regulatory frameworks. Currently, he is leading critical policy and implementation efforts in industrial safety and labor regulations. Welcome, Shri Vimal Chandra Srivastava ji. Everyone.
Honorable Chair, respected Madam Roli Singh, Chairperson, NACW, Dr. Aswal, Member, NDMA, Professor Anil Gupta, IITR, Dr. Joshi from Jawaharlal Nehru University, Professor Srivastava from IIT Roorkee, Shri Prahlad Adhikari ji, HAST, other dignitaries joining through online, representatives from NDMA, DST, UNDP, industry leaders, and all participants. I sincerely thank the organizers for inviting me, as well as the Directorate General, Factory Advice Services and Labor Institutes, DG Fastly, to this Resilience and Sustainable Summit. This platform is highly significant as it brings together industrial growth, occupational safety and health, and sustainability, which are the three pillars that must be harmonized through the right perception, informed decision-making, and collective responsibility as India moves towards on our goal of Vision 2047. India's rapid industrial expansion across sectors such as chemicals, petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, energy, and logistics is a key driver of economic progress. However, this expansion also introduces complex and evolving risks, not only to the processes and infrastructure, but also to the workforce, which is the backbone of our industrial ecosystem. Occupational safety and health must therefore be placed at the core of development planning. Safe systems, healthy workplaces, and empowered workers are interlinked, and strengthening human intellect, awareness, and behavioral competence is as important as strengthening the physical infrastructure. In this context, the DG Fastly, I will be happy to use the word DG Fastly only instead of going into the detailed name of the organization, under the Ministry of Labor and Employment, functions as the apex technical body on occupational safety and health in India. It plays a pivotal role in advising governments, framing policies, developing technical standards, and enhancing institutional capabilities. Recently, as we know, the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020, which had been brought into force, and the rules are also being made under the said code. It reflects the government's commitment towards a unified, risk-based and progressive framework. It emphasizes not only compliance, but also accountability, transparency, and the use of technology while promoting a culture of prevention and continuous improvement. From a technical perspective, the industrial safety, particularly in the hazardous sectors, must be anchored in process safety engineering, while occupational health must address exposure to chemical, physical, and ergonomic hazards. However, beyond systems and tools, the most critical factor which remains is the human intellect and the right perception of risk. Many industrial incidents occur not merely due to technical failures, but due to gaps in understanding, training, supervision, and safety culture. As ma'am has also highlighted and emphasized on the training aspect and awareness. Therefore, structured approaches such as process safety management, hazard and operability studies, quantitative risk assessment, and industries hygiene practices need to be complemented with continuous worker training, competency, development, and behavioral safety interventions. It is an area where DG firstly has been taking a role right through, as we also look after the dock worker safety at various ports, so we have been focusing with respect to those areas as well. Chemical emergency management further underscores the importance of preparedness and coordination. Incidents involving toxic releases, fires, or explosions can have cascading effect, particularly on the workers, community, and the environment at large. Effective response requires well-defined on-site and off-site emergency plans, regular mock drills, medical preparedness, and integration with disaster management systems. Equally important is ensuring that workers at all levels are trained, aware, and capable of responding appropriately under stress conditions. Technology is transforming the landscape of industrial safety and occupational health. Real-time monitoring systems, IoT-enabled sensors, and digital compliance platforms are enhancing early detection and predictive capabilities. Advanced tools such as consequence modeling and dispersion analysis support scientific planning. However, technology alone is not sufficient. The effectiveness depends on the trained manpower, proper interpretation of data, and the ability to take timely and informed decisions. This again brings us back to the importance of human capacity building and intellectual preparedness. Capacity building is therefore a cornerstone of a resilient and sustainable industrial ecosystem. Developing the right perception of safety among workers, supervisors, and management is essential. Safety must not be seen as a regulatory burden, as member NDMA was also mentioning, but as a value-driven commitment. DG Fastly continues to contribute through training, research, and collaboration, but these efforts must be further strengthened and scaled up. And I look at centers of excellence of Dr. Gupta and such similar organizations. As we move towards the goal of our Vision 2047, the goal must be to build an industrial ecosystem that is not only productive, but also safe, healthy, and resilient. Occupational safety and health must be embedded into every stage of industrial activity, supported by skilled human resources, strong institutions, and a proactive safety culture. Sustainability cannot be achieved without safeguarding human life and well-being. So in conclusion, I would like to say that industrial safety, chemical safety, and occupational health must be recognized as fundamental pillars of industrial development. The policy framework is in place, but its true success lies in effective implementation, continuous learning, and collective commitment. By strengthening human intellect, investing in training and capacity building, and fostering the right perspective towards safety, we can build a safer and more sustainable industrial future. I hope that the deliberations which we will be having right through the day will be focusing on these areas, and there will be a lot of learnings to be made. So thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Suraksha.
Thank you so much, sir, for the valuable input and for emphasizing that right perception of the risk is the need of the hour for everyone. Thank you so much, sir. With this, we'll move to the conclusion. And as we move towards the conclusion, I would like to invite Professor Anil Gupta to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
So, thank you for all the support from the dignitaries. And on behalf of the organizing team, I would also like to tender an apology in some changes in the order. Honorable Member NDMA was scheduled to speak at the end as inaugural address, and before that Madam was to speak, so some mistake has happened. So for that, our apology. Nonetheless, we are very much honored to have the august panel of experts and the authorities gracing this inaugural session here. And the ideas that has emerged from the inaugural deliberations are very, very critical. And I think very, very critical guidelines to discuss in detail the entire day during the sessions. Because despite of the best efforts that we were thinking that's the best efforts, if we could not achieve the real success, then there are certain critical gaps. And the gaps have been identified. For example, even before we moved here, we were sitting in the lounge and Madam was telling about the same thing, that how do we make it integrated approach, particularly with the district disaster management system and between the departments. And there we look at the mechanisms as well as the capacities. I think it's a very, very critical point, and she highlighted in her deliberation also, and the Honorable Member NDMA also highlighted in his remarks. So that reiterates and reinforces the new code that is coming, and DG Fastly is the custodian for that. I think is going to offer significant opportunities to work on those lines also. Now, the Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals also have come up with a disaster management plan, but that is focusing on certain set of industry, not all the industries. And as Madam also focus that looking at the major accident hazard units, and while the role of National Chemical Weapons Convention is like a global, it's representing a global body and within India, but its replica that is felt at the ground level, we need to look at that also, and that is woven in the national legislations. So, Madam, we are happy that the scientists who were instrumental in creating those legislations earlier times in 1989, hazardous substance management rules and hazardous waste management handling rules. Dr. Lakshmi Raghupati is here, Madam. She has been like my teacher. When I started my career in DMI Bhopal, I used to come, and these people were busy in forming, drafting regulations, and they used to give me, have a look. So she and Dr. Indrani Chandrasekharan, she was yesterday here, and she will be coming. So I had an opportunity to work with them, Basel Convention and all. So this group is very rich. The former DG of Oil Industry Safety Directorate, he just superannuated, I think, few days back. So there was a great challenge for us also, but we could catch hold of him, and we are thankful that madam he could join. And Executive Director of the Health, Safety and Environment, Indian Oil. Am I correct, sir? Yeah, yes. So he's here, and we have the overseas experts also. Professor Andre Lindner, he is the Managing Director of ABCD Center, Technical University of Dresden. And then the session will also be having the Professor Faisal, who is the chair of the Process Safety Center at Texas A&M. We have Professor Mariana from Deakin University, Australia. She is director of Center for Humanitarian Leadership. So, madam, we are also going to launch specific programs jointly with our international partners. So, certainly we will be offering even the more strengthened capacities from IIT Roorkee. And IIT Roorkee I do not consider as one single entity, but so many partners, so many IITs are also working closely with us. IIT Guwahati is present here, IIT Tirupati is here, madam, IIT Indore, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Delhi. So we have a good consortium. So this is a beauty we claim. JNU is also here, and UCOS. So while my duty is this time to give vote of thanks, and I am just like selling my product, so that may not be appropriate also. But this is a rare opportunity for us. So that is why I thought that I should present these things before you. Because we are really ready to work on those lines, and we need to work. And I think the kind of energy you and the new DG of DG Fastly is here, so that is a great opportunity for us also, that we best develop a package and we work upon. Madam, as the member NDMA was referring about the National Action Plan for Chemical Accidents, and in the longest story, I coordinated the first national consultation. It was in 2009. And the draft is ready for almost 6 years. There are some issues. I'll sometimes come and discuss with you. And in fact, if you can push, that can certainly happen. And that will be really a good instrument to mobilize the resources also and this coordination. There we try to put in the coordination, so some mechanism is there. So thank you so much for gracing this and guiding us. Thank you, my senior colleague, Professor Vimal Srivastava, who is always supporting, and he is heading the Center for Sustainable Energy. So, madam, we are also looking at this, the hydrogen safety. And this campus, we are trying to establish a pilot plant here on hydrogen safety. Talks are there with Government of UP. In fact, the Vice Chairman of the State Disaster Management Authority, Government of UP, who is the minister rank, he's already arrived in the guest house, and he'll be joining the group photo also with us. And in the afternoon he is going to speak here. So with some state government, discussions are there to have a pilot hydrogen plant here to work on process safety, hydrogen process safety, and also to develop capacity building packages for hydrogen safety also. Thanks to Professor Joshi, and thanks to Adhikari ji and Director General UCOST, and a special thanks to member NDMA who could grace. And we had a one-to-one meeting with the NDMA member before this summit, and I think it would be good that we can find out some time of yours, NDMA member, and maybe in his office or your office, wherever it is possible, and then that can also be really beneficial.
Can I say something?
Please, madam.
Actually, this should have been a interactive panel discussion.
Yes, madam.
This is not a topic for giving a speech on. So you had an inaugural, so perforce I had to create something formal. But ideally, we should be having I think this kind of a discussion where there are other agencies involved on how to create institutional mechanisms.
Yes, madam.
What is happening is that a lot of work is being done by a lot of people. Somewhere it is not coming together. So an academic institute of your stature should be working closely with DCPC, and see, I'm an authority which has a very limited mandate.
Yes, yeah.
I'm looking at things at 360, but it's not my mandate. But the thing is that with DCPC and the Labour Ministry and the Commerce, the DGFT,
OISD also.
there has to be a kind of a working group mechanism which looks at it very closely. And
We'll do that.
trainings are something, again, I'm saying that uh, rather than just going on designing training, let's just start doing them.
Yes.
Let's just start with, with one district which is most vulnerable, or one cohort, one cluster, say in Western India, where there is, there are these chemical industries. We are all aware kaun si kahan par hai.
जी.
So let us just start. Maybe Visakhapatnam was mentioned. We could start there.
Yes, that is a multi-hazard district, and
Yeah.
in fact, madam, we did a
Where
study.
there is a huge storage, and
Ji,
it is
ji.
not necessarily a production facility, but where there is storage, there is a different kind of vulnerability.
Port
and
also there.
gravity.
Yeah.
So let's start somewhere.
Yes, we'll do
And
that.
when you want, wherever you want us, I think we could have a small meeting before that. Whatever networks we have, we leverage those. So essentially, it's about networking and making the solid networks that are already in existence, making them all come together. And I think what we need to do is, India is a very big country. Centralization will not work. We should be having mirror images of what is happening here. You need to have collaboration with institutes with which you can talk to on the same level, and build the same capacities there, so that everything is not centralized. I think
Yes.
that is another danger we keep falling into all the time. We tend to centralize, and then so your center should become the place where other centers are created, where
Yes.
other capacities are built. So it has to be a
Yes,
there
yes.
is a honeycomb kind of
Exactly.
thing that takes
We'll work on
Thank
those
you.
lines, madam.
Thank you.
In fact, we've expected PISO also to join, but hopefully somebody will come from PISO also. We tried, and we'll take a follow-up action certainly on those lines that you suggested. Yeah. Thank you, madam. So we are really honored, and in fact, by your stature, we thought that it's better to have an inaugural. That is the reason we had this kind of design. But certainly, your words are well taken, and we'll take a follow-up action. Now, this summit is certainly going to lead to specific discussions, and then that we will organize somewhere in Delhi, so we can manage with the time, maybe some evening or so. So that will be even better. So thank you so much. A large number of industries are here, madam, almost 40 different industries, and young professionals are also there, young managers, beside the senior members. And so in fact, on safety, this is the first conference here. So we are trying to build good relations with the industries, so that we also know their the interest requirements, and that's also. So that would also be something that we are looking forward to your guidance and support from DG Fazli sir and all those who are there. The new OISD, soon we will be meeting him also, and we had a word with the Chief Inspector of Explosives also. We'll certainly work. I had previous experience of working on those lines, so that is a benefit, and I'll certainly build upon that with your guidance. Thank you. So I once again extend my sincere thanks to the entire organizing team, all the organizations who have graced this occasion and who are participating here, and all the team which is facilitating all necessary arrangements. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. By this, we come to the conclusion of our symposium launch of industrial safety and sustainable system. I would request, sir, to please proceed with small token of appreciation as a mark of our gratitude to our esteemed speakers. Thank you so much, Roli ma'am. Thank you, sir. Shri Chaturvedi ji, thank you so much, sir. Professor Srivastava, thank you. Professor Joshi, thank you so much for your valuable inputs. Shri Adhikari ji, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. And may I now request all dignitaries and participants to kindly assemble at the staircase near the entrance for a group photograph, followed by the tea. We will reassemble for the next session by 11:15 over here. Sorry, it's already 11:15. We'll be there by 11:30. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I would request the volunteers to please escort our guests to the staircase for the group photograph.